Your 3-minute 3 hacks to get yourself into shape. Honestly, these do make a difference, so pay attention. So this is all around helping get your insulin levels back steady and stable. Any weight around the middle is related to your body releasing just a little bit too much insulin. So this is all about how you can very effortlessly stabilize it. So listen carefully. Step number 1, mind the gap. Stop eating between meals. No snacking, no grazing. Eat as many meals as you need, but let them be meals. Put a plate on the table and put some protein and fats and carbohydrates, if you will, on that plate. Every time you eat, that whole production line, which is your digestive system, is going to kick into play. From the digestive enzymes in your mouth through to the hormones like insulin and ghrelin, microbiomes, everything is all going to get involved. All those pro and prebiotics, everything is playing. And it isn't going to only sort of happen if you only sort of eat. You're going to still kick the whole system off. And if you keep spiking that insulin all day, every day, we're ignoring what it's going to do to your digestive system, which will never get a rest. But if you keep spiking that insulin all day, it's going to impede any effort to lose fat around the belly. Step number 2, so that's 1, mind the gap. Number 2, breakfast, i.e. breaking your fast. First meal of the day. It doesn't matter if it is at 8 a.m. or 2 p.m. That first meal of the day is the most important meal of the day. Now, not in the sense of you have to eat it in inverted commas. Obviously, you're going to have one at one point. You're going to break the fast, regardless of what time that is. It's the most important one to get right. If you spike your insulin with that first meal, it is up for the day, and it'll make the rest of the day almost within reason a little bit of a waste of time to try and stabilize the insulin again. In other words, if it goes up for the day, you're going to almost be in a fat collection mode all day. So get rid of any carbs in that morning, or reduce them down to really good quality low glycemic carbs like a good quality rye bread, and get in the protein and the fat. And if you were to only eat the protein and fat, that'd be my recommendation. So in other words, eggs and avocado, wonderful. And smoked salmon and cream cheese would work super well. And if you're going to have carbohydrates, have a very low glycemic one with the protein. So in other words, if you're going to have the rye bread, have eggs with it. If you're going to have porridge, put some casein protein into it. So that's step number 2. Get that breakfast right. Make it a really good low glycemic breakfast. And step number 3 is generally start looking at the carbohydrate intake, like breads, rice, pasta, grains in general, and start looking to see if you can increase your protein intake and your fat intake, so like oils, nuts, avocado. Protein obviously being your fish or meat or lentils or cheese or eggs. So start increasing those and reduce the carbohydrates accordingly. You don't even have to take the carbohydrates out completely to do this. So if you have a big plate of, potatoes with a little bit of fish and lots of vegetables and hardly any fat in there, start increasing the fish, reduce the potatoes down. Vegetables I'm a bit neutral on, to be honest, and get some good olive oil in on this. Or have a dessert in the evening of yogurt, which will just increase the protein intake, or have a protein shake at the end of it. You'll find the protein holds you, sustains you, and fills you for longer. So the carbs, when you have them, will make you hungry really quickly, which means that you'll be inclined to graze. You'll find yourself staring in the fridge. When you eat carbohydrates, you will release insulin in reaction to those sugars that go into the bloodstream, and on the back of that is a hormone called ghrelin, and that's the one that has you staring into the fridge looking for something else to eat. So if you can replace those carbs generally, you don't have to be too harsh on yourself, with more protein, a little bit more fat, and get them down, you'll find it rather effortless, and it'll sustain you through the next meal, which will make the first step of minding the gap even easier.